I just spent about 18 hours playing Night Swarm, which is basically another Vampire Survivor style auto-battler, and I gotta be real honest with you. It doesn't reinvent anything, but it did keep me playing way longer than I anticipated, and I want to break down exactly why this game is fun, where it falls flat, and who the hell should actually care. Thank you to developers Fubu Games for the free review copy. Night Swarm has the same basic formula. You move, you dodge, you watch numbers go up, you watch enemies explode, and everything gets obliterated. The difference here is that there's a lot of progressive systems stacked on top of each other. There's multiple currencies, equipment upgrades, skill unlocks, artifacts, and a full skill tree. All of that feeds into this short, fast dopamine loop that makes it really easy to say one more run. It's not story levels of deep, but its gameplay is definitely addictive. There are 12 zones across 4 biomes, and each zone has normal, nightmare, and hell difficulties. Higher difficulties lock higher gear rarities, so once you are buff and actually tackle those difficulties and go back to normal, you really do feel like a monster. And honestly, that's the best part of the game. Standing there, letting your build do all the talking, and watching mobs evaporate, just like a lot of the other Survivor clones out there. But let's talk about builds, because this game has some highs and some absolute lows. There's a fusion mechanic, where once you level 2 skills to 10, you can fuse them into a new relic that combines their powers. This isn't for every skill, just certain ones. In theory, that sounds awesome. In practice, it's a gamble the first time around. I had one run with 6 massive blood bombs that covered half the screen, and then I fused them with the rats, and it ended up deducing into 2 tiny little bombs that just did nothing. And it was instant regret. It left a bad taste in my mouth because my great build instantly died, and then I lost the run because of it. But on the flip side, there are builds that are so busted that you literally can stand still and win, which is the point of the game. And for me, it's the blood spikes you start out with, plus the chakrams, which are 2 of the first skills in the whole game. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot that get better than that. But the runs do feel incredible when you hit some really good combos. So yeah, I'll touch on the skills too, but build variety is definitely here. The balance is not so much. There are 10 followers, each with a passive bonus and an active ability that triggers when their mana fills up. These followers give enhances like damage, crit chance or crit damage, XP gain, burning, freezing, you know, stuff like that. They definitely help, and some even tank for you, which is kind of rare to see in this genre. They're kind of like body shields. But they don't really push you into new styles of play, just passive boost that feel good. And the moment-to-moment gameplay actually feels great. Animations are smooth, feedback is fast, optimization is really solid, but when the screen pops off, it's basically visual soup. There are tons where you physically can't see where danger is coming from, because the effects take up so much of the screen. This is very apparent with the starfall and lightning abilities that just shoot everywhere. Your screen just gets really filled up with junk. It looks awesome, but you can kind of die because of it. The theme is all about monsters and vampires and supernatural stuff. So you're a vampire lord, you know, there's vampire powers and themes. I think it does fit the nice gothic vampire tone. And to be fair, the art style is genuinely really impressive. The shader-based look is unique and stylish, and it's just really great. What's not great is the AI voice acting, which any native English speaker will see that it's very obvious, very monotone, and just adds nothing better to the experience. For all I know, the story is also written by AI because there's just not really a story here. None that you care about anyway. Alright, so let me talk about those progressive systems I mentioned earlier. There are 27 skills, 10 followers, 4 gear slots, and a skill tree. On paper, that sounds incredibly deep. But in practice, most runs actually start to feel the same. You move, you dodge, and you let the numbers climb up. And you can literally play this game one-handed. The exception, I will say, is the castle biome, which adds environmental traps that force you to actually kind of move out of the way from, which is not typical from the other biomes. And that's where the game started to get interesting. It just didn't escalate any more from that. So is the game replayable? Kind of. Each run feels the same, even when the numbers are wildly different, so I guess it's really up to you and what you care about. But the progression between runs is meaningful enough that you'll keep chasing upgrades for hours because you do actually get buffer every run. I hit a content wall around the first castle mission, but I still kept playing because the loop is just satisfying. As far as enemies go, they vary enough to create pressure. Any of the biome bosses are fun except for the castle bosses. I don't know why, but the castle bosses just felt like bullet sponges designed to waste your time, and not really clever like the other ones are. And mouse and keyboard was good, and the controller was good. I don't have really any complaints because, like I said, you can play on either one of them with one hand. There's literally no aiming involved. All of your skills do all of the aiming for you. And since you don't have to aim, well, you can just turn off your brain and win. Something that also surprised me is they made it only $10. And the honest answer is I enjoyed it enough to spend 18 hours playing it. So yeah, Night Swarm isn't trying to reinvent anything, and it really doesn't. But the gameplay loop is fast, satisfying, and genuinely addictive. Builds can be insane, progression feels good, and the art style pops. On the other hand, the runs do feel samey, skill balance is all over the place, AI voices are just terrible, and it lacks real emotional depth. If you enjoyed the review, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and tell me what broken builds you have loved to do in games like Vampire Survivors. As always, keep gaming and stay awesome.